These episodes are brought to you by a massive fire-breathing dragon. Episode 25, Penguin. I'm gonna start this one with a tip, and that is simply to be careful who you laugh at. Somebody like the penny plunderer, for instance, should be pretty fine to laugh at. I mean, what's he gonna do? His weapon of choice couldn't even buy him a paperclip. Penguin, on the other hand, is someone to be a little bit more careful around. In the comic Joker's Asylum, Penguin's on a date and feeling pretty good about it. He's about to tell the lady he loves her, in fact, which makes an eavesdropping chef laugh. Bad move, pal. Penguin manages to keep his cool at the dinner table. However, revenge was certainly on the horizon. I'll spare you no details and let you know exactly what he did to this chuckling cook. A few days later, that building had a new owner and the restaurant was forced to close. Its employees were all fired.
You are in fear for your life and you need a job. Got that?
I reckon that probably makes you a little bit more than even, Oswald.
We have all suffered by his hand. Me, you.
Wait, what? How was I affected? Anyway, based on your tone, I guess that means you weren't done. Let's see what you did next. And the day after losing his job, the chef found that his girlfriend had suddenly been deported to Romania, and his best friend arrested for child pornography, despite his insistence that he was framed. Bloody hell, Oswald. That is surely enough. My goodness.
This is Gotham City. No one cares, right?
Oh no, there's more, isn't there? The day after that, a new tenant moved in next door and began blasting their stereo at all hours of the day and night. The landlord stopped taking his calls. Oswald, has nobody ever told you the importance of sleep?
No. Nobody's ever told me that.
Wow. There's definitely some sarcastic malice within that voice. You're not done, are you? Go on then. What did you do to the poor bugger next? The church he attended was closed for fumigation after a bizarre infestation of killer bees. The park where he liked to sit and read was annexed and bulldozed. I don't know how else to put it at this point, Oswald. You are just really evil, mate.
Am I?
No, maybe not, I suppose. The man did laugh, possibly at you. All of this is justifiable. I mean, Romania's not that far, is it? So, what do you have lined up next for Mr. Chuckles, you little prankster, you? And then the chef, who was a recovering alcoholic, woke one morning to find that a 24-hour liquor store had opened across the street from his apartment.
Have another drink.
Needless to say, this was all a little bit too much to take, and the chef killed himself, which greatly amused Oswald. So to be clear, laughing at the penny plunderer is okay. But never, ever, ever laugh at the penguin. And more importantly, do not laugh at him if you are friends with me. Because in all honesty, I would prefer not to be framed for child pornography, which I think's reasonable. Okay, now we've cleared that up, let's get into why Penguin is so vengeful. It all started at a very young age, actually. He was bullied and humiliated by his own family. His father dropped him when he was born, as he believed him to be hideous. And even spitefully got into the horizontal bop with Oswald's mother, while Oswald was lying at the bottom of the bed. That is pretty grim. There are a lot of fathers in DC Comics that are far from ideal. Take Raven's dad, for example. He's a demonic overlord. Not exactly the kind of parent you want to be showing up to your parents' evening at school with, I would imagine. And yet, he may still just about be better than Penguin's dad. Needless to say, little Oswald gets tired of his dad and kills him. He didn't stop there though. He murdered his brothers as well, because they were also pretty crappy. They were doing stuff like hanging him up from climbing frames and making fun of him while he was on the toilet. But if someone's not going to allow you a little bit of space while you're dropping a deuce, they probably deserve to die, I reckon. And it was those traumatic early experiences that moulded him into an absolute savage of a man. Well, this episode has been pretty dark, hasn't it? And the penguin has not always been so. So let's end this one on something a little bit lighter.
Forget that canary, Batman! You're up against the blackbird of prey!
Quack, quack, indeed. Okay, so where shall I go if I'm going to make this episode lighter? Ooh, how about the time the penguin made friends with Harold, a man with a massive hunchback who is unable to speak and is a master in electronics. Yeah, Penguin bumped into this guy on the side of the road and decided he wanted a new friend, I guess. Harold has also been getting a little bit bullied. And Penguin can relate, remember? He had to kill his dad and brothers because of it. So he takes him in, and it turns out he's amazing with electronics. So much so that Oswald talks him into communicating with all the birds in Gotham via technology. So you suddenly have birds going wild, ripping aeroplanes in half, and they are bloody pecking at Batman a lot, which I imagine is not a pleasant feeling. This story has made me question many things. Take magpies, for instance. They've been handed this terrible reputation as thieving little buggers. But what if this whole time they were just following the instructions of the Penguin and Harold? Stuff like this makes you think, doesn't it? Anyway, you will all be very relieved to hear that Bruce does get on top of things in the end. Batman manages to meddle with the wires Penguin has been using as a giant speaker and takes the win. To conclude, even if you feel really happy, never laugh in a restaurant, just in case. TD.